Welcome back to From Plot to Plate No Dig allotment. If you haven't been here before, my name is Carl and you're welcome to join me on my journey as I'm growing nutrient dense food in my no dig allotment. Today's video is only going to be a short one and it's about growing carrots. Now there's literally hundreds of different videos on YouTube and on the internet about the best way to grow carrots. Some of which I've done myself. I've grown them in sandboxes, which is what the camera's resting on at the moment. And you know I've done that because I've got them in there and you've seen them from previous videos. I've grown them in containers. And again, you've seen previous videos of me growing them in containers. But I did do something this year that is slightly different. And at this moment in time, I know I haven't pulled the carrots out yet. Well, I have thinned some out. And the carrots were long and straight, and this is a just slightly different method to what I've used to growing them before, like, okay? So because obviously I do no dig. Now I just want to show you what I've got. So I bought these. These are, when was it, 2018 I think I bought them. So they are about 4-year-old, coming up to 4-year-old. And they're still brilliant. I normally grow peas or sweet corn or broad beans in these long root trainers because they are ideal for that. But also, I've grown carrots in them this year. I'm going to show you in a second now what I mean by the growing of the carrots. I'll take you outside and I'll take you to the ones I got in a polytunnel. And the reason why I've grown them in this is because I can control, to a large degree, the environment when it comes to growing and what I put in the compost and so forth in the containers. So this is what I do first though. So in order to grow successful carrots in here, as you can see, the holes are pretty big, but I don't think they're going to be big enough because you want the carrot obviously to go down and you don't want to get stuck in the hole. So what I've started doing on some of the other containers I had was just taking a chunk off the bottom of each of these. As you can see on those two there, the holes are wider, which allows the carrot to grow through. I think that's going to be wide enough. I may have to do them wider, time will tell. But what I've got growing at the moment in these containers look fantastic. So what I do is plant it up with compost. Put 2 or 3 seeds in each station, cover them, give them obviously a good soaking, make sure they're wet, and leave them in the polytunnel to germinate. Once they start coming through and germinating, I move them in outside and then just position them onto the soil as they are. Just, you know, might just put them down slightly, just give them a bit of a firming in, so to make sure all these bottom sections are actually connected to the soil below. And what happens, they root then into the soil below. Well, that's the hope anyway, so let's give it a go. But first, before I start doing this, I'm going to show you the ones I got. Alright, have a look at these. So these are ones that I've got. So I've had 3 misfires out of the whole of the tub. There's 28 stations in each, and you can see I still got 1 or 2 in there, like that one for example. I would actually thin out. See, I'm looking for the strongest plant, and I think it's going to be this one is the strongest plant. So I'll take this one out and I'll just show you. Look how long and straight that is. I'll just bring you back there so I can show you. Put it on the dark. Look how long that carrot root is. So that hasn't quite reached, looking at it, hasn't quite reached the bottom yet, but I'm hoping that it'll go through the hole, that I'll obviously make it a little bit bigger, and then have brilliant carrots with that. But that's quite a long root stem already. Look, I'd be happy if they just thickened out and they were that long, if I'm honest. But I think they'll grow longer. I think they'll go down into the no dig beds. They'll obviously, I water down here. Don't water on the top. I always water underneath, and allow the carrots to go down, searching for the moisture, as it were. I'll just show you the ones outside as well now, okay? So these are the ones outside. And again, I've just sunk them slightly a bit deeper, if you notice. I've just like forced them down, but I did cut quite a bit off the bottom of these, so it's a little bit of a trial. So it's not just a snippet of the bottom. I've taken about 2 or 3 inches, well, about 2 inches off the bottom of each of these. I can't show you now, obviously, because of that reason. But I've got, like Baiolo, I've got 2 again, so I'm looking for the strongest. And I think that one's more centre, but I'll take this one out and I'll just see. Look how long and straight that is. See, this is the key. And that obviously definitely going in the soil underneath. Long straight carrots, but growing them in these trays. I'll just take you over by here now as well to show you these. Done the same by here, look. They've all fired in this one except for one station, and I got about 3 or 4 missing out of that one. And that's a good thing about this. You know, you can control the environment to a large degree, and they're all separated out, so you'll have good, decent carrots. So I'm going to put another 3 of these trays in now, set them going, and I'll have carrots then up until later on in the year. I grow a variety called Sweet Candle. All the ones you've seen growing are Sweet Candle. But I also got a variety which I put in now, which are called Autumn King. I know some of you actually grow that. But in here, look, if you notice, like sometimes it's got 3 seeds. Like that one, look, it's got 3 or maybe even 4. So I'll thin them out. Obviously, again, another long root, look. I know it's snapped there. And to be honest, I'm thinning them out like this, right? But ideally, what I should be doing, which is the purpose, is basically just snipping them at the top, because when you're pulling them out, not only are you going to disturb the roots of the others, but you can probably encourage carrot fly as well. So that's something to bear in mind. But I think it's still early in the season. I don't think the carrot fly is about yet, but you can't be certain. Again, just a nice long root. Just take out. Look how long that one is. Look at that. See how long that is. Look. I probably could have left it in. You probably could grow 2 in it, but because I've only got a small hole on the bottom, you know, I don't want them to become distorted. I want nice long carrots, even though you can still eat them. I know there's no problem with that. Just firm that one back in now. But that's it, guys. So this is how I plant them. I'm going to show you now with my other ones, okay? I just thought I'd show you my container ones as well. So similar sort of thing. You've seen me put my grid on top of there to make sure they're all the right distance apart. That's a brilliant way of doing it as well. But I think this other way is going to be better. Let's have a look. One of the first things you want to check for as well, see that little baby Badella? Snailville. Come on. He's going to have to go. But check inside. If you're keeping these outside, or even if you keep them in your shed, slugs do like to get in there. And just make sure they're all nice and clean, cleaned out regarding the snails. So just remove him. So the first step, like I said, is to cut the bottoms off. And all I do is get a scissors. Okay, and I just squeeze that a little bit so you can get a scissors in there. And that just makes that hole slightly bigger. Can you see that, guys? See how it's made that hole bigger than that? So all I do is just cut a bit, making sure you're picking up your plastic bits if you can, and sling them into the bin. So you can see the difference between those 4 and those 4. You probably will grow a carrot or 2 coming through there, but that doesn't look wide enough for me. I think if it's just a little bit wider. On the other ones, like I said, I cut it there, which, you know, then put it on the ground and it's probably rooting into the ground that way. But hey ho, it is what it is. You could probably do it directly in the ground without using the container, but I just like to use the container because I can see where they grow in, you know, and you're not going to get the weeds coming up to try and compete against the carrot seeds, because when they germinate outside, it takes a little bit longer normally. So yeah, I'm going to crack on cutting these now and then come back to you. All right, so all the holes have been widened. Next job is to fill it with compost. Now this is the plan. I'm just going to show you my compost. Okay guys, so this is what I'm using at the moment. This is Leventon's F2 seed modular, so it's a fantastic professional growing medium, and this compost is for me absolutely incredible for starting seeds off, and yeah, fantastic. But saying that, right, the ones you see outside and the other one that I planted, I used a bit of this and a bit of my own compost, but I'm just going to try with these next variety of seedlings going in, just entirely out of these. So these trays are going to be planted up. I just want to demonstrate how I do one of them, okay? So let me just settle you down. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. Get myself comfortable here. There we go. So, just fill it up. It's a lovely compost. This is with no bits of wood and rubbish in it. And it just breaks up so fine, so light and fluffy and wonderful. Wonderful. Like I said, you'd probably be alright, even if you was to put a normal compost so far up and top it off with this so the seed gets a good start, you know. But I'm going to fill the whole tray. I'm not going to do them all. I'm going to fill this whole tray with this, and just to see if there's a difference. Just firm them down slightly when you're putting them in. It is quite expensive, this compost, to be honest, but well, it is what it is. Just break up any lumps that's there. Nearly there, guys. They're quite deep root trainers, they are, to be honest. They're about 6 inches, maybe, something like that. So, nearly there now. Again, just firm them in, making sure that they, you know, they go down to the bottom. Top them right in, firm them in. There we are. It's getting better. Nearly there. Oops. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's done now. Just oops, tidy it up. Sorry, I keep bumping the blinking camera. Heavy-handed. It's got all of it. My OCD, I've got to make sure that it's all looking good. Okay, bit of water now. Just let it soak in. Give it a good soaking. Like that. As that's resting down, as that's settling down, we should get out in our seats. Do a bit more, just another run over it. Just get a bit of twig, a bit of stick, anything really, and just do a little hole in the top, like so. Like that. And then I plant my seedlings, or my seeds I should say, into the top of the holes, like so. So there's the seed I got, which is I've obviously grown a row outside so you can see the packet open, but it's Autumn King, and there was 6,000 seeds in these from Premier Seeds Direct, which I tried these. I don't normally buy from them, but I've tried them this year, and they seem to be okay. So just find, and if you drop 3 or maybe even 4 carrots in, don't worry. You're aiming for 2 or 3 maybe, but you can pick out the strongest and cut off the weakest. Carrot. So some of these, no, that one now just dropped 5 in there, but probably about 5 or 6. But that's fine, don't worry. It's all fine, no panic. There you are, that's all. So let's just say it's an average of 3 in each. 3 in each. There's 28 cells. 1 8 is 8, 2 8, 16, 3 8 is 24. So sorry, 28 cells. There's 3 28s, 60, 72. So, but I will be thinning these out, like I said. And the next job then is to just get your sieve, or you can just use whatever. So I've got some of the same compost in, and I'm just sieving it through like this. And this is what I'm saying about this now, right? Now look at that, that's all that's left out of that, and to be honest that's just bits of, you know, so that's all that was left out of that, look, after doing that. So just spread it out like so. Just making sure that's like that, and then I also put a little bit of water on top to make sure, just a bit of water on top to make sure that the soil is touching the seeds, makes contact. Just a little extra like that, and there you have it. And what I'll do then, see, the carrot will grow, hopefully, go all the way down through the hole in the bottom and then into the soil underneath. That's the key. So I'll put a tray over the top of here now just to give it a bit of warmth, and it'll bring the germination process a bit quicker. But I won't put them in their final position until the seeds come up. You can move this in because you know that taproot's not going to go down straight away. You've got to keep an eye on it. But once the seed starts to pop through the top, then you can put them, then this whatever you want to go into your final position. So that's how I've sown my carrots this time around, guys. It's another method that I'm using. Again, it's a trial this year, and looking at what I've got coming up at the moment, I'm really happy with. So, and looking at them taproots as I've shown you, and some of the ones I've weeded out, they look quite long. I'm really happy. So until the next time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is Carlos from Plot to Plate No Dig Allotment signing out. Have a good one, guys. Bye for now.